You are so wonderful. Daisy,
Robert,
you are
one.
so wonderful. My gosh. Great job, HBO. Look at you. Look at you.
Okay, we are live, everyone. Welcome, welcome.
Is it on the TV?
Hello, everyone. Welcome. We are so excited to be here at the breakLAND Q&A for their online premiere. I hope everyone is giving them a round of applause to this amazing team. Thank you for joining us. My name is Christine Jaralaga. I'll be moderating the Q&A today. I believe we have our audience here. So if you have questions, please pop them into the chat and we will answer those questions along the way. But first, let me start by let's go around and introduce ourselves as well as our role in the project. If we want to start, Luisa.
Sure. Hi, everyone. Thank you for being here. I'm Luisa Novo. I am the director of breakLAND.
Woohoo!
I'll go ahead and pop
Yeah.
in. I'm James Hughes. I'm the writer, and I'm still in awe at the whole process getting to this point.
Congratulations, James. Go ahead, Robert.
Hi. Robert Olson. I play Harvey. And no, I don't have a frog suit at home, but I kind of want one.
I think we see it right there behind Luisa. It's making a little appearance right in
Yes,
the
yes, yes.
corner.
I gotta just reach and get
Okay,
that.
let's head over to Colin.
Hi, Colin A. Borden. I played Richard. I just conveniently have a mustache again, so it's very exciting.
Sounds like a dick.
Awesome. And last but not least, let's introduce Daisy.
Hi, I'm Daisy Fernandez and I play Alice. What's up, everyone?
Awesome. Well, great work and congratulations to all of you. This was such a fun pilot to watch. And we have some questions. So let me go ahead and start with the first one. Just an easy one. James, what inspired you to create breakLAND?
All right, yeah, that's a catalyst question, right? I guess like anybody goes to a theme park, they love the adventures of the theme park, but what I loved more was what was behind the doors, I guess. What do people who have to deal with where the entertainment and the service industry collide have what's their daily life like? And I thought that was very interesting, so I kind of researched and built on that and tried to formulate characters that would best be molded in that environment.
Awesome. Yeah, I hear a lot of horror stories from people who are in the cast at Disneyland or places like that. So I think you've captured some real stuff going on there with just like the really different kinds of characters that people have to deal with on a daily basis.
One of our
Um,
assistant camera people were a park photographer at one time.
oh,
Really
snap.
nailed it. Yeah,
Oh wow! Oh, that's a great compliment then.
I
yeah.
feel like that job would be incredibly like, I mean, it's just like so on the go. You're trying to capture so much all the time. Like, I wonder,
Yeah.
like, what is that job really like? Yeah. This next question is for Luisa. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think you mentioned that this was the first time you directed a comedy or maybe a workplace comedy. And if so, what was it like preparing for this, preparing to direct it?
Yeah, it was my first comedy. I was terrified that I was gonna do a terrible job. So the two things I did was first watch as many workplace comedies as I could, which was
Nice.
the most fun research ever. I think the main inspiration was Superstar because first it was the most recent one that was on TV at the time, and also the type of environment and workers was the most similar to our story. So I drew a lot of inspiration from it. And second, I just had to cast the right actors for the parts. Like, we took a long time auditioning because we really wanted people that could, embody this characters the best. and that is half the job of a director, cast well. And all these actors are phenomenal. And I had to do very little. You know, once you have them, you know, you just we laughed so much on set. Was the best.
That is great to hear. I mean, I totally agree with you in terms of the casting. Like, that is a huge part of making or breaking a comedy, right? And so it's clear that you guys all had a lot of fun. Everyone was on the same page and knew exactly what kind of show they were making and the world they were building. Kudos to all of you. This one's for the cast, so any of you can chime in, as well as Louisa and James. This is such a fun world of characters, just like we said. I would love to know more about the process of bringing each of your characters to life. Were they written exactly as we saw them on screen, or did they change in any way? Did you offer up any ideas on how they could be? I know it's just the pilot, but they felt all so very rich. So why don't we start with let's start with Daisy.
Yeah, so funny enough, I actually do something similar as kind of like my day job. I work as a party princess, so I go to kids' birthday parties to princess, and reading like the description of the character, she was giving kind of like Aubrey Plaza in Parks and Rec, which is pretty different from who I am. I'm definitely more of like a bubbly, outgoing person. But don't get me wrong, I do have, you know, my dark thoughts here and there. So I kind of took inspiration from like, you know, that little like angry like voice in the back of my head when I am working princess parties, and you kind of get the things that happen. They get pretty sick and tired of. So I just kind of used a little bit of like that energy that I shoved down. I brought it up for this.
I love
And
that.
I want to chime in. Her audition was so spot on and how I envisioned that when I met her in person, I was like, "What? You're so very different." She had a great audition. She's a great actress.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
And
I love that. Oh, James, were you
yeah,
speaking?
no, I would say in terms of like how they're written, honestly, that's just a blueprint. Like I would have considered a failure on my part if the characters that showed up on screen were the same that I wrote on paper. You know, I went to all the castings. I think I saw all of you at all the castings, and you know, it was kind of just handing a baton over kind of situation, like seeing what these people can add to that character and think of things that I couldn't think of, you know. So it was really very pleasant to see this. You know, the pilot had so much that like wasn't on the paper. I was very happy with it.
Love that. No, that's great. How about you, Colin?
Um, yeah, I know that he was a dick, as is said once or twice. I think somebody mentions it once or twice.
I think Robert does too. Yeah.
But you know, you want to kind of bring a little bit of joy to the guy still, even though he's a dick. And I just was trying to find like specific ways, like the tie that he wears is bright green with little whales on it.
Love that.
So like he's working at a theme park, he knows that he's having fun. He's there to enjoy himself, and you know, like the little handshake with Cameron's character Mark. Um, he enjoys himself, but he is very serious about the work, and that's where it kind of like goes against all of the joy that you know all these jerks sitting in the break room maybe want to bring to their job. It's not about that; it's about the work for Richard. But yeah, I think it was about getting the right shirt and the right tie, and then the rest of it was just showing up on set and seeing what everybody else is doing.
The coffee prep killed me. The
Oh
coffee
yeah.
when you dump the coffee at the end of that scene, I died laughing.
As many sugars as possible went into that thing. Yeah.
It was great.
And also in the audition, James was present that time, and I remember the way you did the character was a little less mean and a little less like stern, but we both agree it was like it's. I think that's just the way we have to go with the character. It's whatever he's doing. It's the way it should go. So I do think it changed it a little bit from like the first initial idea because the way he brought it, it was great.
He's definitely the bad guy. You need a bad guy.
Oh, and that energy is so felt in this episode. How about you, Robert?
Yeah. I pretty much when I went to the audition, I don't know why, but Ryan Reynolds spoke to me in my head. I don't know him, but I kind of did like a really bad impersonation of Ryan Reynolds. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna put a leather jacket on. My wife's like, "What the hell are you doing?" I'm like, "No, this needs a leather jacket." And she's like, all right, whatever. So I just did like a really bad Ryan Reynolds impersonation, but I felt this Harvey character is kind of like a Deadpool guy. He's like, he's just there to do his job and he's wonderful at it, but then he's been doing it so long. He's like, what are they going to fire me? I don't freaking care. So we just like had fun. And so like Louisa, if she was the first time doing a comedy directing, I mean, it was amazing. She did such a wonderful job because she's an actor's director. She allows us to play with the words. She allows us, like obviously with James's script, we can play with the words, but she would allow us to do takes where it's kind of improv. So that whole scene where I'm just like, oh wait, you gotta go to Palmer's office? That whole thing was kind of improv there. Where we're like, okay, there's like bees or killer bees right there, and she just let me go with it, and she let us go with it, and it turned. I'm so happy it made the final cut because man, I had so many random takes of that one. We did like 10 takes. So many donuts too. My God, oh my God, I haven't had a donut since, but still, still, it was great. But she allows us to kind of play with it, and I thought everyone really owned their characterness. Like everyone came up with a great backstory, and we were all like we knew what our relationship was, and we barely met each other, but it was
Yeah,
so
sure.
natural.
It
Yeah,
was invited for the play was invited absolutely.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
everybody just being able to
Everyone
work
loved
and
to play on set, and it allowed it to be so wonderfully natural and real in a
it's very
silly
COVID.
mode.
We were all wearing the face shields. We're talking prime COVID when we
Yeah.
shot this.
You did that. Listen,
And I did it. I brought it. And then, but we were able to play like the fact that we were still able to like
yeah, we had the face shields, we had the gloves, we had everything, the mask, and then we took it all off, and we were there. It was real.
was
So
great.
so a wonderfully written thing. James is wonderful, and Louisa was absolutely an actor's director. She let us play.
That is very
Yeah,
nice.
yeah, she let us play, and you made it so good. It was good, and but she was very professional. She's like, "Hey, we need to get this establishing shot, and we need to get this." And I'm like, "Yes, let's go." But she let us play, so she's the best of both worlds, all the worlds. So
And
Thank
directed
you.
almost a whole day in a green tutu Tinkerbell outfit.
That is true. I did do
yeah,
that.
yeah. She directed wearing one of the costumes as an extra. It was amazing. I was like, "Yes, I will take Tinkerbell serious. Yes, of course. Tell
I
me."
love it. I love it.
And,
Just like
and your
this
killer
happy world she's creating.
your killer bees on the map, everything you said when you're doing the map, they were all fucking hilarious. Sorry, I doesn't remember. But it
I'm
was
so
so
happy.
great.
Thank you. No, it was
Are you
great.
guys thinking about releasing any like outtakes or bloopers?
I mean, never
I
thought of
think there
it.
must be a ton.
There's so many. That'd
Yeah.
be perfect.
There are no bloopers. Everybody was very professional. There's no bloopers.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah, we
Even
never
the
missed.
jokes, it's like right at cut, we were done. Like we were done laughing and smiling.
And just so the compliments for everybody in their audition goes. Harvey was the hardest part to cast. We saw a lot of people even did chemistry reads with him and Josh, who plays Charlie, with people before him, and just like it was so hard. And so I did another round of auditions to find Harvey, and Robert came in, and I James wasn't here at the time, and I needed to confer with him, but I just had an instinct that I thought it was him. But yeah, I had to continue audition. I was like, we haven't found him yet. So yay, Robert.
Amazing. There's actually a really funny question from Mario. Will Tinkerbell Louisa make an appearance in the coming episodes?
Uh, Louisa, Tinkerbell or not, is not an actress. The only thing I can do is flutter in the background. I would not utter a word though.
As the
So the
writer, I
answer
will
is
write
yes.
I will write her in.
Yes,
There you
yes,
go.
coming episodes though. Yeah, right. Coming
There you
episode.
go. That's a great question, and that's actually one of my questions, which is, could James or Louisa or any of you really, could you give me a little sneak peek into a storyline of a future episode, or if any of the cast members have fun ideas for where their storylines can go in future episodes?
So, in the process of creating this series, I have a few episodes have already been written.
Nice.
Now they are in dire need of revisions. I will caveat that. But in terms of where these characters could be headed, I've kind of wrote some notes here because God knows I'm not going to remember everything. Um, uh, so Alice does have a lot of like real world struggles that she keeps close to the chest. Doesn't necessarily, you won't see it in that first episode. And that to me was always a shame of that first episode because there's a lot to her story that I couldn't get to because you couldn't just dive into it, right? You had to unveil that curtain. But she's dealing with a deported father and a rebellious brother, a broken family, and she's in law school and she has a lot going on. Um, uh, Harvey and Charlie, they traverse frustrations of Harvey's, weight, which stems from far more than just lack of willpower. Richard, there is an empathetic yet unjust origin for his story, and there's a lot of development that needs to be done on that. But it is a through line to his entire character at that park, and that is something that I've always been excited to like see that go to fruition. But that is something that's like a finale kind of deal. Um, and what's
I'm
the
in the
deal with Mark?
finale.
Huh?
I'm in the finale.
He made it
Your
that
character's
far.
very integral to the park and the story and every character there. Um, and then the last one is what's the deal with Mark? What's the deal with Mark? That in itself is, he is like the Frankenstein's monster. You know what I mean? Like he is the creation of Richard, and there's a lot I can do with that, and I that would be a very fascinating development to work on.
Hey, how
And
about
just go
Harvey
ahead.
introduces Mark to a first date type of thing? That'd be amazing.
Ooh.
That'd be amazing. Hey,
That would be a wild episode.
And just because I think that these two facts are awesome and James didn't touch them, they're more plot driven than character driven. On the next episode, there is a bet that happens that will, towards the end, will dictate everybody's movement as like who wins this bet, and the consequences are quite dire for the main characters, like depending on which side wins. And Eddie's arc is like transforming himself from this idol, like caught like they're in a highlight, like he doesn't know how to be an adult yet, to being quite cunning and winning from Richard at his own game. So that's where the story is going.
Can we steal just 1 second to say how awesome the entire cast is, but Austin Carr carrying that movie, he just kills it. He shows up, super charming. It's fantastic.
He is. Also, change the subject just because somebody asked. Tell us about Harvest Shirt. Harvest Shirt. We crowdfunded this, and one of the perks was if you donate this amount of money, which was a large amount, you get your face printed on a shirt that Harvest is gonna wear. So actually, the person that donated and said, I want that was a friend of my brother's from college. So that's what happened. And then I was like, just send us the picture you want us to use. He did. And our costume designer, Jen, just printed a bunch of his faces, and that's his shirt.
That is such a great idea for a crowdfunding perk. I'm stealing that.
I do want to point out one of the if there's going to be other female characters.
Mhm.
I actually have a slew of characters. Some coming in from what is it? Services. Oh my God, customer service
Mhm.
characters. Then actually, there Richard has a counterpart of equal seniority, and she is very much a nurturing type, but somehow always gets the one up on Richard. You know, she's got a ruthless edge to her. You know that somehow she keeps hidden from everybody, and Richard just is always on that side of the blade.
I was about to quit the show. I mean, you're getting me another Richard. Are you fucking serious? Jesus Christ! But okay.
It adds to the thrilling nature of the show. Where will it go? Like that's what's so exciting about a pilot is that this is just the beginning, right? We have a lot of questions about like what is the next step? Like from Raphael Bittencourt, he says, "Luisa, congrats!" And now that the first show is done, what's the plan with the story? A more traditional, compartmentalized, or something live where the audience's response and feedback will influence? That's an interesting way to build a season.
I
That sounds
think
stressful.
Yeah, it does. It does. It's interesting. It's stressful. Like it feels like a lot of shows are kind of influenced by what the feedback on Twitter, right? Like I see
Mhm.
that a lot, so that's really interesting.
yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know. The way we have it right now, it's very traditional in the way we the stories we have consumed, the guests, but James is just like, too stressful. No.
Yeah, so I'll be honest, I isolate myself, I sit there and I write, and then I take it to Louisa and I let her destroy it.
Love it. Love it. I would love to know more about, yeah, your partnership, the collaboration of like bringing it to life together. Like, how did you two come together to make this happen?
Oh, well, we went to film school together, and I don't shut up, and I just spout my ideas all the time. And she was like, "Well, that one's good." It was like the 12th, 13th idea of that day, like halfway into the first year. So it's like, finally one of them stuck, right? And
Mhm.
she was like, "You should develop that one," and I was like, "Okay."
Awesome. And Luisa, were you always like looking to, or is this like an ongoing collaboration between you two? Are you guys going to be making more things together?
That's a good question. I love to do more. He also wrote a short film that I really liked that I would love to direct one day. And he's more interested in writing, and I'm more interested directing. So that's good. But as of now, I don't have anything planned. But yeah, possibly.
Very cool. Very cool. If there are any more questions from the audience, we'd love to answer them. Please send them in the chat and we'll go ahead and read them. I think we've covered some that kind of overlap. Some I'm kind of leaving for the last question. Um, if there are any more, otherwise, I can go on to the next question from my end, which is what's next for breakLAND? Do we have any plans for that?
Um, from my understanding is like, this is an opportunity to put a fishing line out there. Everything takes, time, resources, schedules fitting together. And if the demand is there, the heart and drive is there too, and it's a fishing line in the waters of opportunity. So I hope we get a bite.
No, totally hear you on that. And I hope you do get the bite because, I mean, after we watch this one episode, it's like, well, what's next? We want to know what's going to happen, right? Especially with all of these characters, with the characters you haven't introduced yet. We all love a good workplace comedy, and it would be a missed opportunity to not see where this one goes.
And it's
Um,
so like just the concept
yeah.
is so clean and so fun. Like it it's very stock in as much as a sitcom takes place in a workplace, but we've never seen like this part of it, and it can be opened up so much. Like the HR people and the all the kind of the people that can kind of come in, and then we can maybe one day get out of the break room too. I'm not saying
I
anything,
Mhm.
I
but
have
maybe a call
plans.
breakdown.
I have season breakdowns. I mean, in season two, you meet the workers from the superhero section of the park,
Oh, God, that's so good.
and they are not good guys. They are dressed like heroes, and they are bad guys.
I love it. I love contradictions. I love that, we're seeing very much the world of breakland right now, and it's like literally just that one location, the break room. And yeah, I was wondering, like, are we going to see the world outside of breakland, like different parts of the theme park, or even way outside of the theme park, which you did mention with like each of the characters here, like
Oh
what
yeah,
their
there are
gritty kind
factions.
of worlds are like. Yeah.
There are factions. Custodial is a faction. You want something cleaned up, they'll clean it up, but for a price. There are people that get the job done, but they need favors.
Yeah, and the rights workers. I'm interested in those guys. They must be so fucking bored. It's crazy.
Yeah, no, totally. And it's hilarious because every theme park I've gone to as a kid, like, I feel like they were run by teenagers. So it's just like, dang, it's kids running these rides. I'm like, man, I always thought, I'm like, yeah, they're growing up, they know what they're doing, but they're all kids. So that's an interesting take on like your
The
safety.
ineptitude will scare you.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. This is so funny. Oh my gosh. My question for everyone is, what's next for each of you? Like, feel free to tell us what you're currently working on and where can we keep up with all of you?
I'll chime in, I guess. I'm currently, I'm working on a novel. I'm writing a novel that will certainly get banned in my home state of Florida. So I'm
That's
looking
exciting.
forward to that. A theocratic dystopian nightmare inching closer to reality than fiction. And it's called The Once Wasted Life of Thaddeus Black. And I hope it will shed some light and perspective of those on the receiving end of a threatened existence. So it's a more serious approach to some realities in this world. And that I'm like head deep into that right now. As well as my day job, I'm producing a podcast series for an archaeology department here uh, for the Seminole Tribe of Florida here in South Florida. That's what I do in my day job. So, yeah, that's what I got going for me right now.
Nice.
What's gonna next?
I well, shit, I'll go. Yeah, so we had the writer strike, unfortunately, and give them all the rights. Let's go. Part of SAG now, so that's awesome. So we might go on strike next. So got to be unity always, and get everyone the rights that they deserve. So right now, I'm just working on just acting classes, just keeping it going, and we have a couple plays I'm working on. One of them's 1972 Boston. It's called Tundra. So I gotta say Wicked Pissa and all that shit. So that's great. That's what my family's all from Boston and all that stuff. So that's a lot of fun. So just working on some plays and stuff right now while we're waiting to see what happens with all the strikes and all that. So go SAG, go Writers Union, go Directors Union, everything good. So yeah, just chilling.
Very cool. Very cool.
I got a similar sort of twist on the workplace comedy right now. It's called Good Works. It's a story about a bunch of folks who are serving out their mandatory community service together. You can go check that out on YouTube. Good Works with an
Good
E,
work.
Werks.
Nice. And Colin, we do have one question from D Money for you.
it's just badly timed.
Here's the question: how are you doing?
All the better now.
Oh, and also, if you want to see some throwback stuff I did, look at the Andy and Robbie show. That's on YouTube. That's stupid as hell, but it's a lot of fun.
Colin, the question is, would you ever go back to Darman?
Nope, no plans at the moment. But I, the videos I made are still out there. Watch.
What about you, Daisy? What's next for you?
Hey, so I got a few things going on right now. I got a screening of this show I just finished doing called Doomed, Doom the series. It's screening in Marina del Rey this Saturday. I have that going on. It's also a couple friends that accidentally get locked in a bunker together month. So it's a lot of fun. I also just finished filming this short film about the Mona Lisa, where I played the Mona Lisa. So, you can kind of figure that out on your own how that goes. Thank you. And also, the second season of the HBO Max show I'm in comes out soon. Thank you. Play Peaches on Rap Shit on HBO Max. Season 1 is already on HBO Max if you want to check it out. Or Max now. I'm sorry, it's Max now. And season 2 is coming out soon. Stay tuned. If you want updates, you can follow me on Instagram. I am Little Mermaid with underscores between each word, and I'm always posting what's going on there. So yeah.
Awesome. Until Christine can come back, what's next for me? It's actually, we're developing an anthology feature, me, Christine, and 5 other women directors that we're looking for investors right now. So that's what's going on with me. Hoping to direct more things soon. Would love to direct more comedy. Definitely was a highlight of everything I directed so far. So yeah, Christine is back. Let me get her back for you guys. Any other questions? We got Diego Mercado. I do not know who that is, but somebody asked if we're gonna add him to the breakLAND. Anybody knows? Is that from Good Works? Who is
Well, he's
Diego
from
Mercado?
Darman. Diego's from Darman. He's a dope guy. He'd be great in breakLAND, but that's not my call.
I'm like, I don't know who that is.
Good
That would be
strategy,
nice.
though, for trying to get cast in the show. I like that. Maybe I should ask if Christine Giralago will show up in breakLAND.
That's a bold
Now
move.
you-
We'll see if it pulls off.
I might steal that move. Sorry about hopping off for a little bit, but did we get through everybody? Did we get through
I
any
think
other
so.
questions we want to address before we hop off?
No, I think we're good.
I feel like we did this. Well,
Yes,
you know
we
what?
did.
I just want to say thank you to everyone here and everyone on the crowdfunding who got us here, and you guys did phenomenal, and I'm so proud of you guys. Thank you very much for taking these two-dimensional characters and bringing them to life.
They were 3D on the page. This is such a charming show. I haven't watched it for a little while, unfortunately, but just watching it now, I was sitting with my family watching it. A huge stupid smile on my face the whole time. It's just such a nice, good show.
Hey, we still have to get a beer together, my friend. I still owe you
Yes,
like
we
2 or
do.
3.
Oh, and by the way, Colleen, I don't know if you saw Chris, who was our spaceman extra. He's being going off on the chat of how amazing you are and how he wants to work with you soon. So there you go.
I'm available. The Spaceman was fantastic.
Well, this has been awesome. Congratulations to all of you. Congratulations on breakLAND. I hope we get to see more. I know we'll get to see more of everyone's work here. So congratulations again. Thank you to everyone for joining us, for your questions, and for just being a part of this huge celebration. I hope you all have a great, what's today? Tuesday? Have a great Tuesday. It's June.
Yes.
Hey.
Great.
Thank you,
Yay.
Christine.
Thursday.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Thank you.
everyone, for
Thank
being
you so much,
here.
guys. You're amazing. Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Bye.